right, troops. Today we're hitting the ground running with Terms of Enlistment by Marko Kloos, the gritty, grounded, pulse-pounding book that kicked off an 8-part series and launched the Frontlines universe. This one is a fan favorite. The main character, Andrew Grayson, is now buddy-buddy with MilSF heroes like Johnny Rico and William Mandela. So gear up, check your ammo count, and let's get into it. Meet Andrew Grayson, our POV grunt, a self-described welfare rat, living in a brutal mega-ghetto called a public residence cluster. It's crowded, violent, and your food comes in packets that might be made of recycled sadness. Grayson joins the military, specifically the North American Commonwealth Armed Forces, aka a future dystopia's best self-cleaning oven for the poor. Enlist, serve 5 years, maybe you get to eat real meat again, maybe even go to space. So yeah, Grayson signs up, gets through a fairly standard boot camp, complete with shouty drill instructors, rifle range montages, and bonding with fellow recruits, including Hallie, a drop-dead gorgeous fellow enlistee who may or may not exist just to keep lonely readers emotionally invested. Grayson scores high on marksman tests, but doesn't get to join the sexy branches like Navy or Marines. Nope. He's stuck in the Territorial Army, the military sci-fi equivalent of being assigned mall security when you wanted to be a Navy SEAL. Well, anyways, he's deployed to Detroit, where the mission is peacekeeping, aka riot suppression with heavy weapons. And what starts as contain the unrest quickly becomes a nightmare. Think Black Hawk Down with more drones and less intel. Grayson's squad gets hit hard. He watches people die, uses military-grade force against civilians who are just as desperate as he was, and you can see his moral compass starting to shake. Then he gets injured and somehow, by the grace of plot armor and bureaucracy, ends up transferred to the Navy, where he meets up with his girlfriend. Grayson thinks he's finally made it. A cushy job. No more rebels. Just routine patrols through colonized space, with his girlfriend by his side, until everything goes to hell. They answer a distress call from a colony and discover a scene straight out of a horror movie. Buildings intact, but the people are gone. Evaporated. Fumigated. That's when the giant aliens show up. The Lankies. 80-foot-tall alien juggernauts that don't communicate, don't negotiate, and seem designed solely to ruin your week. They are pure biological overkill. The humans never stood a chance. Grayson barely survives the alien encounter, and the book ends with Earth realizing it's no longer alone in the universe, and not at the top of the food chain. What I liked most about this book is that the boot camp, the hierarchy, the grunts versus brass friction, even the locker room banter, it's all grounded and authentic. It just nails basic training and inter-service rivalry in a way that screams real-world experience. I also like that this book starts grounded and explodes into sci-fi. It lures you into thinking it's about urban poverty and the struggles of enlisted life, then hits you with giant aliens and orbital warfare. And it works. The pacing is tight. There's barely any fat on this book. The visual storytelling during combat is razor sharp. Whether it's urban firefights or dropship evacuations, Kloos describes the action so clearly, it plays like a movie in your head. Finally, this universe is deep and expanding. You've got 8 full novels in Frontlines, and now the new Frontlines Evolution series continues the story post-war. Book 1 dropped in 2024 to rave reviews, and the second entry lands this year. Kloos isn't done, and neither are we. Now, as much as I dig this book, let's talk about the negatives. You know, the thing that stuck out to me the most is that every time Andrew Grayson could have faced some serious adversity, the story kind of whisks it away. His whole arc feels a little too smooth, a bit too scripted. But here's the thing. If it weren't for Kloos's sharp writing, I probably wouldn't have stuck with it. The gritty realism, the pacing, the way he nails the military environment, that's what pulled me in and kept me reading. And honestly, that's a rare thing. Oh, and then let me mention the aliens. They look cool, but there are no further details. They're just scary space kaiju stomping on humans like ants. It's hard to reconcile how primitive these creatures appear with the clearly advanced technology they possess. And that brings me to my last gripe. And yeah, it's kind of similar to the previous one. The world building. It feels surface level. We get slums, acronyms, some vague geopolitics, but not enough to really understand the larger societal mechanics. The world doesn't quite have that hook, that one element that makes you care about the politics or want to dig deeper into how this future actually works. But to be fair, Marko Kloos has explained why he held back on the world building in this first book.
First one, I really winged it. I just kind of wrote off the cuff. It was an advantage in a way, but it was also a disadvantage in terms of world building. It was an advantage in that I left myself so much space to flesh it out later. Like I didn't go into the details exactly in the first book, so I couldn't contradict those details later when I really had to, crank down the world building when it turned into it was supposed to be a trilogy and now it's up to 7 books, so you can tell how that went.
And there we have it, Terms of Enlistment by Marko Kloos. This book delivers heart-pounding action, tight pacing, and the kind of grounded military grit that only comes from a writer who's actually been there. It starts in the mud, takes you to the stars, and drops you straight into a war. It's not perfect, but damn. When I first read it, it made me realize that I actually love military sci-fi. So yeah, hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this military sci-fi book review and want more. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Burn bright and burn enough.